Who's gonna go if they both win? Or if they both are out?
Okay. I'm pretty sure it's recording, so we are going to get started. So this week, we're learning about quotations and interjections, but today we're specifically going to learn about direct quotations. And quotations are those fun little marks, whoop, whoop, that we see all the time, especially when talking, things that are definitely something that we need more practice on, and that's okay. So, quotations. A direct quotation contains another writer's or speaker's exact words. So, quotations mean the exact thing they said, not if I said the day was Tuesday, you couldn't say Tuesday was the day. That wouldn't be a quote. It would have to be exactly what I said. So, to separate direct quotation from words that come before them, you add a comma and a space before the quotation mark. So, for example, the veterinarian reported, comma, space, quotation, the zoo has 5 new cougar kittens, period, quotation. So, what did the veterinarian report? This is exactly what the veterinarian said, but we need to separate the words and the quotation, which we do by a comma and a space. Okay? Also, separate a direct quotation from words that follow it by placing a comma between the quotation and the final quotation mark. So the same thing is here, except for the words are after instead of before. So here's still our comma, quotation, and here's our space, okay? So we see quotation marks like every day in our reading. We literally see them all the time. So it's nothing new. It's just that we actually have to learn how to write them now, which is the challenging part. So we're going to try a few out together, okay? So read each sentence. Identify where to place the quotation marks. So the ranger said, comma, big cats are an important part of our ecosystem, period. Can someone please raise their hand in the little raise your hand chat and tell me where we should put the commas? Or the quotations, not the comma. The comma's already in because they like us. So the comma's already in. Where are we putting quotation marks? In sentence number 1. The ranger said, comma, big cats are an important part of our ecosystem. Where do the quotes need to go? What did the ranger say? The quotes are going to go around exactly what he said. So what exactly is he saying? Evan, why don't you give it a try? Since no one's raising their hand, I pick you. You were on first.
Okay, can you repeat the question, please?
Where are we putting the quotation marks for number 1? The ranger said, comma, big cats are an important part of the ecosystem. The quotations go around what the ranger actually said. So what did he say?
So you want to put quotation marks before big and after period.
Perfect. So it's going to go right here at the end, if I was actually doing it, right here after ecosystem in the period and before big. Correct. Good job, Evan. By the way, I'm just picking random people. We may visit a national park. We may visit a national park where cougars live, comma, Sheila told us, period. So what did Sheila tell us? Where are our quotations going to go? We need to put our quotations around what Sheila said. So, Evan, you already went. I want to pick on someone else, but thank you for raising your hand again. Julian, do you know where our quotations are going to go? What did Sheila tell us?
One after live.
Yep.
And one on the period.
All right, so that is who's telling it to us. We need to quote what she actually said. This is what she said. She said, we may visit a national park where cougars live. So we need a quote at the beginning, and we need a quote after what she said before who said it. So it would be, quote, we may visit a national park where cougars live, comma, quote, Sheeler told us, period. This next one is a little bit tricky because the Roger asked is in the middle, okay? So, why should we care about cougars? Asked Roger. We need to protect wild cats, answered Amy. So, Amy answered something and Roger asked something. We're going to have two sets of quotation marks in this lovely sentence. So, Jessica, can you tell me where our first set of quotation marks goes?
Before why and after the question mark.
Correct. That is what, or wait, whatever that I said Roger. I don't know what his name is. But anyways, whatever Roger or Rodrigo, oh, it's Rodrigo. No, don't mind Mrs. Kleinfeld. Yes, he's asked this question. So there's going to be one after the question mark and one before. Eden, where's our second set going to go? Miss Eden, where's
It's gonna be before did and after the question mark.
So if we were on number 4, you would be totally correct. But Jill asked, comma, quote, did you know cougars have sweat glands? So you would be totally correct on that one, but we were still on number 3 because number 3 has 2 parts. Because Amy answered with, we need to protect wild cats. So after the period, that's okay. You still got the number 4 right. It would be, quote, we need to protect wild cats, comma, quote, answered Amy. Because Rodrigo and Amy are talking in that sentence. So there'd be 2 sets of quotes. We already did number 4. Thank you, Eden. And let's move on to number 5. Rodrigo wondered, what does the mother feed her young? So even though he's wondering it, it'd be like he said it in his brain. So where would my quote go here? Brachelle, where would my quotes go in this sentence? Rodrigo wondered, comma, what does the mother feed her young? Question mark.
Between wondered and what and at the end of the sentence?
Correct. So after the comma, before what, we would have a quotation mark. Quote, what does the mother feed her young? Question mark, quotation mark at the end. And then lastly, last one for this one, the young cougar drinks their mother's milk at first, comma, offered Chaz. I don't know where we're getting these names this time, but that's okay. You know where the quotations would go in this sentence. What did Chaz offer? He offered up some words, and what did he say? That would be what it needs to be quoted. Isaac, are you there for us? Isaac? Oh, okay. I'll wait. We're waiting for Isaac. No. So the cougars drink their mother's milk at first. That is what Chad said. So it needs to be at the very beginning and after the comma, because that is what he said. Offered Chaz is like Chaz said, but instead of said, it says offered. So, quote, the young cougars drink their mother's milk at first, comma, quote, offered Chaz, period. Okay? So you're going to have a bunch of those to do on your homework, but of course we'll do a few together. And we're just going to move a little bit further down. Beep, 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 beep. Text quotations. Dun, 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 dun. One way to present information from another source is to quote the author's words directly. When you use phrases or sentences from another text, copy the words and internal punctuation marks exactly as they appear in the original source, then enclose them in quotation marks. So this would be like if I was writing a story, or if I was writing an informational text and I got some information from a book and I wanted to put that in my paper, I would have to quote from the paper and put it in my paper. So an example, quoted phrase, the authors described the big cats as being seldom seen, which means very rarely. So how would we fix that? We would say The article stated, comma, they are seldom seen. The article stated that they are seldom seen. Either of those would work, okay? So, for example, the direct quotations are underlined. Suggest how to rewrite the sentence using correct punctuation. So, the article stated that most cougars are ferocious carnivores. So, to write that one, all we would have to do is add the article stated, comma, that most cougars are, quote, vicious carnivores, end quote. All right? Cougars live throughout North America, comma, quote, they have been able to adapt to various habits, period, quote. So all you're doing is seeing if anything needs rearranged to make it sound a little bit smoother and adding quotes where there is direct quotation marks, okay? Tomorrow, we are going to work on interjections and dialogue, but we're not going to do that today because that'd be so much in one day. So I'm going to switch now and share a tab on our homework. And we're going to do some of these together before I let you go. Then you can do these pages tonight. Tomorrow, do the next pages once we learn that. Wednesday, double check it over. It is due Thursday morning as always. So, Module 4, Week 1. Let's just reread the directions again. A direct quotation presents the exact words of another writer or speaker. A direct quotation is enclosed in quotation marks. The first word of a direct quotation is capitalized. The end punctuation of the quotation, period, question mark, or exclamation mark appears before the ending quotation mark. For example, look out for cougars as you drive through the park. Place a comma between words in one sentence in the direct quotation. So, here's another example. The ranger said, comma, look out for cougars as you drive through the park, period, quote. Quote, look out for cougars as you drive through the park, comma, quote, the ranger said. So either of those sentences are fine. They're just written in different ways. Yeah, Ava, I don't know what your camera has to do with anything right now, okay? Let's just focus. So let's do some things together. We'll do a few together. Uncle Robert exclaimed, I would love to visit Big Bend National Park. So who's talking? Uncle Roger. And he didn't just say it, he exclaimed it. So after exclaimed, we add a quote or a comma, then space, then quotation marks. And then the last quotation marks go at the very end when he spoke. Does everyone see where I wrote that? Uncle Robert exclaimed, comma, quote, I would love to see Big Bend National Park, exclamation mark, quote. Second one, he said. Who said it? He did. So after said goes our comma, space, quotation mark. This is one of the biggest desert areas in America. What did he say? He said this is one of the biggest desert areas in America. Once he's done talking, we put another quote. Okay? I asked him, comma, quote, quote at the very end. Have you ever seen a mountain lion?
Literally.
What questions do you have about this so far? So I just did 3 of them with you. That means you have 7 left.
Like, seriously, why do people keep saying that?
Rochelle, do you have a question? Because you're unmuted, ma'am. All right. So does anyone have a question on this page? All you're doing is putting in a comma and adding quotation marks, okay? 3 are done. You have 7 more, okay? Any questions on this page? Going once, going twice. If not, I'm going to head down to the next page. The next page is shorter. You only have 4, and of course, we're going to do at least 1 together. So this was the text quotations. Like I'm taking it from a book and I'm rewriting it for myself. When you include parts of another text in your work, copy the words exactly and include internal punctuation marks. Then enclose the quotes and quotation mark. The author writes, the experience was once in a lifetime. Use a comma and capitalize the first letter in the punctuation. The ecologist wrote, comma, the experience was once in a lifetime, period, quote. Use that or as to introduce the quotation. The ecologist wrote that the experience was once a lifetime thrill. So all we're doing is we're rewriting it how we think it needs to be. So complete each sentence with a quoted phrase or sentence taken from a direct quotation that follows. The cougar might be an antisocial animal. The cougar is a solitary diner preferring to... Okay. So the cougar might be an antisocial animal, comma, because, quote, the cougar is a solitary diner, They, we can just say because we're doing quotes, preferring to eat alone. So I added the word because. I'm telling you why they're antisocial, okay? So the cougar might be an antisocial animal because the cougar is a solitary diner preferring to eat alone, okay? So all you're doing is rewriting these and adding these quotes so it makes sense. You're just changing what the author said. Do not worry about the next 3 pages, okay? Because we haven't learned that yet. We're going to learn that tomorrow. So you have 3 on this page to do and 7 on this page. That is only 10 questions. That'll probably take you less than 20 minutes. So today, if I were you, I would get these 10 problems done. That way you can ask questions tomorrow if you need to. And that way you won't be behind when we start our next part tomorrow. What questions do we have currently, friends? Eden, is your hand up or was it up from a while ago? Eden, do you have a question? Going once, going twice? Anyone, any questions? We're being awfully quiet. If there aren't questions, you are free to go work on your homework. I will post those few pages we did together. Also, Ava, go finish your NWEA test right now. Go log on right now. Again, same codes as before. The entire grammar pages are due on Thursday, like always. If I were you, I would do these 2 pages today, though, Eden. That way, when you get the 3 other pages tomorrow, you don't have 5 pages to do. Because this is your last live for the day. So if I were you, I would just get it done now. But grammar is due by 8 a.m. on Wednesday, or on Thursday. You are free to go. If you would like, if you have a question, be sure to ask. This will be posted. Ava, go get on your thing right now. Goodbye.